get that question. What did you do over March break?
I went to
Shanghai,
Rome, Peru,
Florence,
Beijing,
London.
Bolivia, Paris,
Hong Kong.
Why did you decide to go on this trip?
Like, why not? It's China.
Well, I mainly decided to go because I just really wanted to go to Europe and I'd never had the opportunity to go to Europe before.
And like seeing all like the pictures that people post on like Instagram, or like hearing the stories from like all the older people about their trips and like what they did with their friends, it's something that like you always like kind of want to do.
Why is this trip worth going on?
I'd say it's worth going on just because when you're going to such a foreign country like China, where a lot of things are different than Canada, but where a lot of things are similar, it really changes how you see your own country and how you see the foreign country, and just how grateful people in a country like how grateful people in a country like Canada should be, just because of all the things they have and the privileges they have. Where in a country like China, where say freedom of speech isn't what it is here, at least for me, it opened my eyes a lot, and it made me a lot more grateful for the things I have and the people I have in a country like Canada, where people are much more free.
I think being able to go to 3 cities in 10 days is unreal, and like all the history stuff we saw, as well as like markets. It's really unbelievable seeing like China, which is like the hub of like our world today, like with all the manufacturing, like how they work and like what everything's like down there. Like I know for me personally, after going to Hong Kong, like I would honestly love to move there when I'm older. Like that's like the impact like the trip had on me.
It's worth the experience because I went to China, which I think like I probably would have never gone to China in my like entire life if the school didn't run the trip. So I think it's definitely worth the experience, and just as as a teenager, like growing up and experiencing different parts of the world and helping to kind of find yourself and what you like want in life and who you are as a person. And especially for me, like next year I have to think about like applying and like programs I want to apply to, and just I think like the whole like experience and experiencing the rest of the world and seeing different things other than where you're from and where you've grown up your whole life is just a really I think it's a really beneficial thing to do while you're a teenager.
Why do you think schools do these trips?
I think schools do these trips because just like myself, a lot of students don't otherwise have the opportunity to go to places like Europe and China. And like when I signed up, I was signing up just because I really wanted to go to Europe, but it ended up being so much more than that. Like I just had so much fun being with everyone, and like all the experiences were so much fun.
And like it's also like a once in a lifetime experience. Like not usually like people really go on like trips with like the school more than once, so like it's really just like something that you kind of like always wanted to do in your life. Like I know I have always wanted to go on like a trip with like my friends or like with like the school.
What are some of your most memorable moments?
I'd say that one of the more fun moments would definitely be getting to pet the llamas, because that's not something you get to do in Canada. And I'd say one of the most influential experiences, probably one of my favorite moments, would be when we got to learn how to dance and when we got to dress up in the traditional Peruvian costume. That was just amazing because we got to really immerse ourselves in the culture.
Just the experience of being on the overnight train from Paris to Florence, because it was so cool, and it was so like cramped and tight and claustrophobic, but we were all together and it was so much fun. And also just like walking, because we walked everywhere in Europe, and just walking everywhere in a big group, and like the conversations we had was all just so much fun. Just all the little things were the most memorable.
Yeah, and like also for me, like the same as Kate, like walking with everyone and just like being able to talk to all of them and get to know each other, that was really fun. And also like one of the best like experiences for me was probably like on the boat ride to like one of the islands in Hong Kong, because it was just like something that I don't really see often, and like it's just a different like view from like the boat to like the city, and it's just really like nice to see.
How have you grown as a person from this experience?
I'd say that I've grown as a person because I've because I'm not seeing the same side of the story anymore. I'm seeing two because of how different the way of life is in China and how lucky people are here to be living the lives that they have. So now whenever, say, I see a homeless person on the street or something, it's quite relatable for me to see that, because I did see quite a few people like that in China, quite a few more of them in fact. So the short answer is yes, I've grown as a person because it's allowed me to see things differently and to see how privileged people are to be living in Canada.
So going to China really allowed me to like open up like my beliefs on like other people's like societal norms, just because like it's such a far away country, and like me personally, I've never been outside North America, and going to China was like an unreal experience because I got to see like different culture, different people, different language, and just see like how everything worked down there, which is really like powerful in my opinion.
What kind of people would this trip impact?
It would definitely impact people who are like I don't want to say closed-minded, but like just haven't traveled a lot and kind of like have stayed in this bubble of like Toronto, like in Ontario. Just because when you don't travel a lot, you get kind of scared and you're worried about different things, but like the experience is honestly so much better. Like you're gonna remember for like the rest of your life.
What would you say to someone who is indecisive on if they should go on a trip?
I definitely recommend for them to speak to anyone they've known who's went before, because I definitely did that for going to New York City for the school trip actually. And it helped me a lot just because hearing from someone else's experience, I decided like I really wanted to have that experience and I really got advice and it convinced me to go. I'd also tell someone like think of all of the memories and experiences you'd have that you might never have in your life again, and that definitely would help convince someone because they might never have the chance, so they should just be spontaneous and go with it.
Just go, because it's such an amazing experience and you get to do so much, and it's also a really good price for everything you get to do.
I'd honestly say to go just because like the teachers were amazing, the people up there were amazing, and like there's a lot of like negative connotations about China being like dirty and like a bad country, but it's honestly amazing, and like you'll honestly grow so much as a person if you end up going.
What did you gain from this experience?
So I definitely gained an understanding of a different culture, which is just something I absolutely love. I love culture, so being able to understand how their daily lives function and how people live in a different part of the world, I just truly learned from that experience, and that's definitely the biggest thing I gained was just knowledge of a different place in the world.
Well, I think I gained a lot of exposure to different cultures and new cultures that I wasn't exposed to before. Like we got to roam around the streets in Italy, England, and France, and like live as if we lived there. And so we really got exposed to a lot.
And also, we went into this trip not really knowing many people, so it really gave us like a new sense of independence.
And we were traveling on our own, like not with our family, and I'd never really traveled without my family before, and usually my dad packs my toothbrush for me and he holds my passport for me, but I had to be really independent and take care of my own.
What would you change about your trip?
So I guess one thing I would do differently is there was this massive Incan slide just in the middle of the landform, and it's so smooth that you can slide down it. But I didn't do it because I was afraid of ripping my new leggings. So I didn't want to rip my pants that day, so I didn't do it, but I feel like I would definitely do it because that's an experience that I didn't get to have.
Would you do this experience again?
I probably wouldn't, just because I feel like particularly the trip that I went on was to China, like so Beijing, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. And I feel like the purpose for me to go on the trip was for it to be like kind of like a once in a lifetime experience. So I probably wouldn't do it again just to keep that kind of like aura around it.
100% yes, I love to travel. It's one of my favorite things to do. I just love experiencing different parts of the world.
As someone who has not been on one of these trips, what would your attitude be towards it?
I think I would be really excited because all of my friends have gone on trips with Ridgeview and they all come back with good things to say and how fun they had. So I think I have nothing but positive.
Okay, I definitely think my attitude would be a positive one because it's such a cool and unique experience, and not a lot of people will ever get the chance to experience something like this. And like we're really fortunate that Ridgeview as like a school can create these trips for us where kids can make memories that will last a lifetime.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass and I'm homebound. Staring blankly ahead, just making my way through the crowd. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein, climb aboard, get ready to explore. There's so much to find. Little Einstein, we're going on a mission. Start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone to rocket, rev it up now. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein, climb aboard, get ready to explore. There's so much to find. Little Einstein.
Everybody outside, everybody outside, everybody want outside, that's nice though.